In the principle of mathematical induction in this chapter, already we have discussed what is the principle of mathematical induction very clearly by taking one example. We have considered one example. So like that only here. Now we go to prove the second example. 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus so on 1 by n into n plus 1. This is equal to n by n plus 1. So in the same way as we proceed the problem to prove using the principle of mathematical induction to prove the statement is true, like that only we will proceed all the steps to this problem also. So what do we do? The principle of mathematical induction, what we have to focus? We need to focus on these three steps. The first one is that we need to assume the P of the given statement as P of n, and we need to check whether it is true for the value of n equal 1 or not. That is the first. If it is true, then immediately we need to assume the P of n, the given statement again it is true for n equal to n, which implies we will go to prove it is again true for the value of n equal to n plus 1. So if you do this both the acts, if you follow these three aspects one by one, then we conclude that by using the principle of mathematical induction, we can say the given statement is true for every natural value of small. So now we go to take the second example here. Look at about carefully. So this is very important. You can understand this problem very clearly. Given mathematical statement is that 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus so on 1 by n into n plus 1 is always equal to n by n plus 1. Everybody will accept it. It is the universal truth. So now how do we prove this one in the principle of mathematical induction? So now, whatever the statement given to us, first we need to assume just P of n. So I am writing here that P of n is a statement such that 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus so on plus 1 by n into n plus 1. This is equal to n by n plus 1. Okay, so given statement we assume it as P of n. Now we go to check its truthfulness for the value of n equal to 1 or not. So which implies I am finding the value of P of n. That is, we consider the both the values of the LHS and RHS part of the given statement separately also you can do. Or else directly we can substitute wherever the n in the given statement form. So what the meaning of P of n equal to 1 means? This denotes only the first term of this given sequence. Means n equal 1 means we have to consider equality here. N equal 2 means the n must be n with 2. So in the second term only it is n with 2. If you have n equal 2 means it is the sum of these both terms. If you have n equal 3 means, so the nth term must come in the nth term. It is ending with the n factor in its the first factor in its denominator. So we have n equal to means till here only we should take it out. 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 like that. If you write n equal to 4 means we should take the terms, the sum of the terms 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus 1 by 4 into 5. 4 terms we should take from the sequence, sum of 4 terms. So n equal to 1 we are going to take it now. So n equal to 1 means the value of this mathematical statement is nothing but only the 1 by 1 into the first term. So on RHS, if I write n equal to 1 there, it will become 1 by 1 plus 1. So finally get this is 1 by 2 and this side also 1 by 2. So we conclude that 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 2 is always true. Whenever it is always equal to itself. So what we call this property? We call it as reflexive property. Whenever it is always equal to itself. So we can say that P of n equal to 1 is proved to be true for n equal to 1. Okay, so we have successfully done the checking of the principle of mathematical induction, the first step. It is all n equal to 1, it is true. So immediately we are ready to assume the given statement P of n is true for the value of n equal to n. So Accordingly, now assume that P of n equal to m is true. So just we are assuming P of n equal to m it is true. That means here m can take any number here. Actually m can take any number. We are assuming that the number value is n value is m. It is a constant number. Okay, constant natural number. That means I will say natural number. So why? Because why should we take the natural number? Means here the number of terms are always the natural numbers. We can call the objects with the natural numbers only. 1 n equal 1 means it denotes the first term. N equal 2 means it denotes the second term. P of n equal 2 means that denotes the sum of the second term. Sum to the second term. Sum to the first two terms. P of n equal to 5 means that denotes sum of the first 5 terms of the given series. So we are assuming here P of n equal to m it is 2 means it denotes the sum of first m terms of the given series. So then P of n equal to m, that P of n changes this given statement, it is changes like this. Now I am writing P of n equal to m here. So it changes like this. 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus 1 by 4 into 5 plus so on. 1 by m into m plus 1. This is equal to m by m plus 1. So it's very clear to you. So the given statement only, wherever the m, we are taking the value of n equal to m. So wherever the m, we should write here m. So we assume this statement is true. So using this statement, now we are trying to prove again this mathematical statement it is true for the value of n equal to m plus 1 also. So for the n equal to m plus 1 is m plus 1 it is the next term of m. So you can we have the relation between the constituent terms of this sequence or the series. Look here, what is the relation between the second term and the first term? So we can consider very carefully. In the both the terms we have the numerator 1 and z, but in the denominators we have the two factors are there in the other terms. If you consider both the terms, and better we go to consider the first factor separately and the second factor of the denominator separately. So the denominator 1 is the first factor. In the denominator, in the second term, the 2 is the denominator. If you consider them 1, 2, that means they are increasing by 1. So if you compare these both of them, so this 2 it is increased by 1, 3 is increasing by 1, that will becomes 4, like that. So now the nth term of this series is 1 by m into m plus 1. Then you can guess what will the its next term. Means we should add 1 to this both the factors separately. So here also if you add 1 to the 2, it becomes 3. The second factor becomes 3 plus 1, 4 becomes. In the same manner, now what I am doing, look here. Adding is the next term to the both sides. So you can guess what is the next term of this term here or the given provision. So here only the m number of terms are there. So we need to find its next term. So if you consider only the first factors of this are the denominators, we can understand 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. M it is there. The next terms first factor will be the m plus 1. So now go to the second factors. 2, 3, 4, 5. They are increasing by 1 by 1. So 4 plus 1 it is 5. Here 3 plus 1 it is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And the second factor it is m plus 1. It is m plus 1. It is m plus 1. And the plus 1 it will becomes m plus 2. Okay. So this is the next term of this sequence. Just carefully you can check it once. So m it is there in the nth term. In the next term will be the one more, then its value will come as the first factor in its next term in the denominator form. So m plus 1. Here m plus 1 it is there next term. Next term's denominator second factor will be the one more than 8. That means m plus 2. So this term we need to add to the both sides. Adding 1 by m plus 1 into m plus 2 to both sides of above statement. Okay, So if you add like that, then this statement 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 4 plus so on. We have the target is here 1 by m into m plus 1. We should add this term to the LHS part. What is that one? 1 by m plus 1 into m plus 2. Okay? And this is equal to, we are adding this one to the LHS and to the RHS also. The RHS is m by m plus 1 it is there. So add to this term 1 by the same thing only m plus 1 into m plus 2. This is m plus 2. Am I ready? Again, put here m by m plus 1 plus this term that is 1 by m plus 1 into m plus 2. So now clearly I am seeing the LHS part. We can conclude that it is having m plus 1 number of terms. Right. So now RHS part we have the two terms are there. Now I want to simplify with the RHS part. In these two terms, these both the terms are in the fractional form. So I want to simplify this problem. This I want to write the single term for that one. So just you consider the common factors from the numerator and denominator. So I think here the numerator 1 is a common and then the denominator m plus 1 is a common. So we can take easily 1 by m plus 1 as common from this both the terms. So if I take 1 by m plus 1 as common, the remaining factor will be m here. This is taken as common, so it remains 1 by m plus 1 only here. M plus 2, sorry. Then check it very clearly. You will get 1 by m plus 1 into. And now I want to make this sum to the sum here. 1 into m plus 2 it is m plus 2. Now multiply this both of them here. So the LCM of 1 and m plus 2 it is m plus 2. Now check how many times this m plus 2 will be equal. The 1 that is m plus 2 times. M plus 2 into m it is m into m plus 2 will come here. And this side, how many times this second denominator will divide the m plus 2. So that is 1 time only divides. 1 into 1 it is 1. So now I want to simplify them again. 1 by m plus 1 into this is n square. I am multiplying m plus 2 by m. We get m into m square. And m into 2 is 2m. And the last one it is 1 by m plus 2. So here we can understand that here very clearly. So in the second factor of this expression, we have the quadratic function is there m square plus 2m plus 1. So we go to try to find the factors of the quadratic equation. So if I consider these other terms carefully, we can understand one thing here. I can write these three terms in the form of a square plus 2ab plus b square as a completing square form. So look here once. This m square can be written as m whole square plus 2m can be written as 2 into this m will come into 1. 2 into m into 1 it is 2m only. And last term can be written as 1 whole square divided by m plus 2. So why I am doing like that means clearly this m square plus 2m plus 1 takes in the form of s square plus 2ab plus b square. We can write it as a plus b whole square. So then the next step I am writing this side here, which I carefully around it. So 1 by m plus 1 it is there into this factor. These three terms can be written as a plus b whole square form, whereas a can take area, b is the one. So we can write it as m plus 1 whole square divided by m plus 2 is there. Now we have the m plus 1 it is common factor is there. Cancelling m plus 1 with both the sums will get cancelled. From m plus 1 whole square we have the two factors are there. On cancelling m plus 1 it remains only the m plus 1 in this divided by 1. That one into 1 it is 7. Why m plus 2 become. So we got this is the final step. Now on seeing it they are not unable to understand what we people to do. Now our aim to prove on this proving of the problem, we are yet to prove the final statement it is true for the value of n equal 10 plus 1. Now just we need to go through the given statement and this one, and compare this one with this one, and what you understood here? Comparing this result with this one, we have n, in the place of n we have n plus 1. So it's very clear one. So here the n is there, so we should have n plus 1 here. And I think this n plus 2 can be written as n plus 1 plus 1. So if I write like that, then clearly it takes in the form of n by n plus 1. It clearly in this form. So that means we express we have n equal to n plus 1. It is equal to m plus 1 by n plus 1 plus 1. So this is clearly in this form. That means we prove we come to that we have n equal to m plus 1 is again true. So now we can say clearly directly according to the principle of mathematical induction, we can say P of n is true for every natural value of 1. Okay, this proof it is completed. Now similarly you need to give the some more problems. Now I am going to give one more example to you people. Okay, already we have discussed the two examples. How do we use the principle of mathematical induction? How do we prove that the mathematical inductions are always true for the value of small n, the every value of natural value of the small n. So you people you need to do the two more problems like this in the same way. Just I am writing the questions on the board. Just you need to practice yourself only. Now just prove the sum of the order was 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus so on. The nth odd number it is always to be minus 1. The sum of the odd numbers it is always equal to n square. The first problem we need to prove using the principle of mathematical induction. Like that, the sum of the even numbers 2 plus 4 plus 6 so on. The nth even number will be the even. The sum it is always equal to n into n plus 1. So please practice them carefully. And if you do not understand these how do we do problems, just you need to proceed to the previous two examples. The principle of mathematical induction plays most important role in the mathematics. The most of the complicated mathematical statements we can prove by using this principle of mathematical induction only. Why? Because we can derive this thing also here. Y 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 and it is n plus 1 also in the concept of projections. But instead of deriving this of them, we can proceed the problems. We can prove these statements are always true for the natural values of small n by using this principle of mathematical induction. Okay, let us proceed in the next video.